Hey, family, welcome to Drop Elopes. This is Benita Osset here with Moses, and thank you so much for listening or downloading this broadcast wherever you're at. Today, we talking about that movie Breaking In, so no spoiler alerts, and it's an effect. We're talking about the movie Breaking In and its effect on Black masculinity. Discussion. I got a soldier that I've referenced many times before, Moses' father. And we got music by Kay Blau and Laurie D. Edwards. Special thanks for this show goes out to Rajane for grounding me, General Jose for knowing my heart and meeting the needs, and Kay Blau for pushing me in the purpose. All right, now start the show. This is Benita. I want you to say why you wanted to rear me as a black person and not a biracial person.
The world sees my family as black. The world sees all interracial people as black. In order for you to survive with credibility and expertise, you need to understand that the world sees you as black. You must get used to that definition because it's going to be carried with you wherever you go. When people see other people, the first thing they see is color.
Welcome to Drop Elopes with me and Moses. I'm your host, Benita Osset. Drop Elopes is my constructive response to demystify and replace white supremacy with the just system. Drop Elopes is a weekly broadcast on Intellectual Radio that streams live every Sunday at 12 noon Central. Listeners, Drop Elopes is not just an entertaining radio show. It's a model that on every show educates and equips our people to utilize their gifts in a constructive manner. Therefore, Drop Elopes will showcase and be a collective archive of Black folk who are actively doing their part to pursue justice via a wide array of perspectives, discussions, and presentations. The chief sponsor for Drop Elopes is Benita's Homemade Things. Email Benita at benitaset@gmail.com to place an order or for more information. Hey, Moses, how you doing today?
Good.
Talking to the mic.
Good.
Okay, so today we got your father in the house with us. Are you excited about that?
Yes.
Do you think that he's going to be able to offer us a good perspective on the movie Breaking In?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, well, hello, Dante.
How you doing, Benita?
Father of my children. Dante, you need to talk in, scoot yourself up close, make love to that mic right there.
Make love to the mic.
Make love to the mic. People got to hear you, okay? So today for the people, we have got a father and son discussion about the movie Breaking In. When I first saw the movie with Rajane, our daughter, when I first saw the movie with her, I was thinking, man, we instantly felt like the movie was really had a sad effect on Black masculinity and Black manhood, Black fatherhood. And there were so many instances in that movie where we felt like it would have played out differently from all the times that we've spent with you as a male figure in our, not, as a man in our family or in our life and our relationships. And so there were so many things that Rajane and I were saying, man, if that was your father, it would have went differently, like those kind of things. Mm-hmm. So you and the three of us now sitting at this table have watched this movie and kind of dissected it a little bit. So let's just get into it. Before you get into what this movie is, would you like to introduce yourself to the people or anything you want to say about yourself other than being Moses' father?
My name is Dante Shanklin. My name is Dante Shanklin. I got two beautiful kids by you, and nice to have you having the show. And I watched the movie and all that good stuff and all that, but it wasn't what I, Break In, really wasn't what I expected, as far as they made the other races look like superheroes, so for me, so.
Okay, so they made the other races look like superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the first thing you said to me was, I don't know why you want me to watch this movie, Benita. I'm not impressed. They made the man look like a punk.
Yeah.
That was the first thing you said to me.
First thing I said. I mean, it was a whole movie played out. It was like weird to me. I mean, how, this, that, and all that. Where's the police and all this type of stuff? So, made her look like she was like a superhero, and that she was a superhero of the movie, and it wasn't just didn't seem realistic to me. So the whole outcome, so.
Okay. Moses, what you want to say about the movie?
Well, it's not what I expected. I would expect the criminals to be better thieves. And I will also expect that, like, the male will be the male and the female will be the female. Like, it wouldn't be switching genders.
Okay, so you feel like the movie switched gender roles.
Yes.
But in real life, sometimes the female got to be the lion, and sometimes the male gonna have to play the lion, So sometimes the female got to be got to roar and all that,
When is a good example, or when is it a good time for the woman to be a man, or the woman to be masculine? Maybe at that moment when her husband wasn't there, but when he showed up, then what?
When he showed up, there wasn't not much for him to do. He was trying to figure out what was going on, really. So, when he showed up, like, the man was probably in shock and all that, but when she answered the phone and all that, daughter answered the phone and all that, hey, he's supposed to be on his P's and Q's, especially when he arrived there, see a door open, somebody dead, hey.
Like, there's multiple red flags that show that you should go get help and run.
Okay, so let me rewind the tape a little bit for those who may not have seen the movie or don't care to see the movie. The movie is Breaking In is the new Gabrielle Union movie. She's playing like a super type hero. She's her children are if you've seen the trailer, her children are locked in this building and she has to get her children out. And then once she tries to get her children out, she goes through all of these things. She's hit, she's beaten, she's pushed down, she's like very, very, very strong, very, very, very strong. Like she's even holding by her fingertips. She's like holding on to the banister at this one scene, and so the whole entire movie they showcase how strong she is. Then there's and her husband is not there with her, so she has to do all this stuff by herself. So all along that, I'm fine. I'm going along with the movie. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I probably would see myself working my butt off as hard as she was to try and save my children, doing whatever I could to save my children. So I get that part. But at the very end of the movie, her husband, their father, the black man, the black father, he comes and he sees the scene is there's a lot of red flags, and that's what you all are talking about right there. Mm-hmm. And what does he do with these red flags? Does he use this information at all to help him do better, or
no? He just keeps walking,
and he keeps pushing. He keeps going directly, like Moses said. He's going more and more and more into the scene, getting himself more and more in trouble. So, like for instance, there were other people who had died before, who were killed before the father even gets there. Mm-hmm. So what would you do, Dante, if you was in a situation like that?
Like
your wife is gone, your children are gone, everything, like the whole scene. What would be some of your steps? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
What would be my steps when it gone? We talking when it came up to the scene.
So you gotta talk to the mic. They can't hear you.
My stuff be precaution anyway. I always call. Check and all that. Something wrong with all that. Hey, I'm coming down. I'm not gonna come in by myself. I have Pookie or Ray Ray or somebody with me. That's just how I am. And I believe first, and especially with your family security. Person, I'm always, me and all that. I always think, like, hey, what is this? What is that? And all that.
So you think 10 steps in advance, or 10 steps ahead?
First. I always say that to my kids. I don't, trust no, family members and all that. I put safety of my kids person, all that, you know. My mama's been, you know what I'm saying, rarely watch my kids and all that. Hey, I'm going to watch them, you know, so he should have been there with her in the first place, but he said he had something to do and all that type of stuff. But, you know, stuff happens. But when he got there, you know, he didn't use any kind of smarts and all that, you know. And I believe, you know, if the daughter wouldn't have said that, she would have left him out there. She's going to leave him out there because, you know, she's thinking about the kids. So, you know, he
So as the mother, she wasn't thinking at all about that. Well, she kind of thought about him a little bit when she ran to the door and tried to get him to go back to the car and leave them there. I don't know why she would try and encourage him to do that. I guess she was afraid that he would get hurt out there.
Right.
But she didn't want him to like you said, if it wasn't for her daughter.
Right. Say anything. You know,
but I think that reduces the man even more down to an even broken, even less emasculated point of view, that not only your wife is not helping you, you can't help your wife, you can't help your children, you don't have the capacity, you're not strong enough, you're not smart enough, so you're not, and you don't have good enough relationships, you didn't bring a friend with you, your wisdom didn't help you out, your strength didn't help you out, didn't help your family out. And now your wife didn't help you out. And now the only people who can help you is your child. And it gets to the point where the children are finally free. They're running away. And the girl stops her brother and she says, wait, we got to go help Dad.
Right. Yeah. They had to go help Dad. Dad was knocked out unconscious.
One hit. The Gabriel, her character, the other thing that I think emasculates him is her character is, she has a masculine name.
Right.
Her name in the,
his name is Justin, her name is Sean. But you gotta realize they super hyped her up so much. You remember she got hit in the head, you know, she got ran to trees, hit with rocks, choked, you know, everything. I mean,
I counted at least 15 times that she fell and just popped back up like a soldier.
Yeah.
And then the guy just gets hit one time and knocked out cold.
And the man who hits him and knocks him out, he's like the weakest one out of the bunch. He doesn't, you know, out of the 4 criminals, she never even had a fight with him. He's the weakest one. Out of the 4 criminals, the one that is built up to be the strongest. And I'm sitting next to Moses in the movie theater while we're watching it, and Moses says, "Oh, he's invincible." Is the first thing that Moses says. It just pops out of his mouth, just what do you call that? Natural, impulsively. And so I'm saying, well, the camera is not, or the editing of this movie, or the way they have put this movie together, they are trying to say to my son that the black man can't be invincible, the black man can't be strong, the black man has to be weak. The only is some other man, like you said, Dante, anybody other than a black man. Well, we're gonna go to a quick musical break, and then we might talk about it a little bit more. We have a I'm playing, last week I was playing the song The Average Brother, and I want to play that again because in this movie they make he's not an average brother, they actually make him look worse than that. And I think that then we're gonna come back and have a little bit more discussion about this. Quick musical break.
You are now listening to One Drop Elopes on Intellectual Radio with Moses and Benita Alsed.
Thank you for listening to One Drop Elopes on IntellectualRadio.com, hosted by me and my mom. One Drop Elopes is a constructive response to white supremacy, which is racism. We want to see everyone free. Everyone free. The tea sponsor for One Drop Elopes is Benita's Homemade Things, where you can get scrumptious cakes and delicious cookies and colorful hats and scarves. One Drop Elopes airs every Sunday at 12 noon Central. Call in at 708-223-8953. Now back to our show.
Yeah.
I ain't no thug. I don't flash no ice. Don't push no legs. Try hard not to flower. I don't make six figures. I'm living check to check. Hope I've answered any questions that you may have. No, I don't know what you're looking for. Don't know if I'd be the one that you'd adore. No, I'm not a fly guy, maybe not a perfect guy, but I can say at least I'm a real guy. If you could just see me and what's on the inside of me, there's beauty to know, beauty to know. Cause I'm just an average brother, yes you see. But if you look deeper, girl, like no other, average brother, yes you see. Just an average brother. If you look deeper, girl, like no other. Can't wine and dine you, can't buy your fancy things, can't buy your mink coats and bless your fingers with $1,000 rocks or rings. I'm just a two-job juggling, everyday struggling brother who's hustling. I hope you understand, I'm a simple man. No, I don't know what you're looking for. Don't know if I'd be the one that you'd adore. No, I'm not a fly guy, maybe not a perfect guy, but I can say at least I'm a real guy. But if you can just see me and what's on the inside of me, there's beauty to know, beauty to know. Average brother, yes you see. But if you look deeper, girl, just look in my average brother, yes you see. I'm just but if you look deeper, girl, like no other, average brother, this you see. But if you look deeper, girl, like no other. Your average brother, yeah. Can you love me for me? Oh yeah.
Hey, welcome back to One Drop Elopes. This is Benita Offset here with Moses, and we had a side conversation that brought me to tears. It just by the way, that music was Laurie D. Edwards' Average Brother. You can find that on SoundCloud. It brought me to tears because I'm very passionate about, very passionate about my son and about Black man. And one of the things about me, I see this world as such a broken place, and I'm doing everything I can to try and fix it. And you see, and I think Poe saw this in me, Pomo. I think he saw this in me years ago. And that's the reason why he named me Benita Offset, so that I can help pick up the pieces and put them back together. We go to this movie together. My son sees the movie, and when he sees it in a way that the criminals are the stronger people. The white man and the Latino man in the movie is the strongest one, not the image of him. And so all the questions he's asking, all the thoughts that he's having is, how can he be a good criminal? If he had a way to rewrite the script, it would be to be a better criminal. He's not wanting to rewrite the script so that the Black man, an image of him, is strong. He says to me, Why doesn't he have gloves? Why didn't he have chloroform? Why didn't he kill the children? Why didn't he escape? And that makes sense to have those questions because he's a smart young man. And so he's having questions, just like his father. When his father watched the movie, he had questions too. Like Dante was saying, why is the police taking 90 minutes to get there? Why did a black man have the nerve to go hundreds of miles away from the house without some backup, some friends, some family, somebody? Black men know the struggle here in this country. Black men know that if they're on their own, that things can happen. Sitting next to Moses, he's asking me questions in the movie. He said, why not just give the people the money and get out? Why did the mother not just give up the money? Another question he had was, and I think this is a really, really important question that he had. He said, I don't think they like being bossed around. So you have 3 white men, 1 Latino man. They make up this gang to come in here and rob this place. And there's one of the white men is just bossing the other men around, and they don't like it. And so Moses says, I don't think they like being bossed around. And then he said, who put them in charge anyway? He said, who decided who was going to be the boss? You remember asking that, Moses?
Yes.
He also asked, the other thing that just got me crying is that when Moses saw, he's looking at the Latin guy gets run over by a car. Literally, she runs him over the same exact way the black man in the beginning of the movie is hit by a car and he's run over. And then now all of a sudden, this Latino guy towards the end of the movie, he gets run over by a car. But the Latino guy gets up. He stands back up and come in to fight them. He comes in to kill after being run over by a car. So then it puts Moses in the position of Moses says, dang, he's still alive. And then after that, he says, whoa, that guy is invincible. Because then the daughter jumps in and tries to help save her mother, and she hits him with the pool stick, and he doesn't even flinch. Dante, what is this type of movie? What is this doing to the images of our son?
What's doing the image of our son? Well, basically, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? Hey, what's real and what's not real, Benita?
So do you think I'm just too emotional over this?
I mean, you're not too emotional over it, but it's just that, that's how you is and all that. Moses, he just being curious about the wrong. He's being curious about, why did he use chloroform? Field and all that type of stuff. That's, this is the way a kid thinking is, with the video games and all this stuff going on in the world, Benita. So, I don't feel you being too emotional and all that, but to me, it's a movie. Hey, we can't control, what our kid, we can control what our kid watch, but we really can't control what's being filmed and all that, because, they're going to do what they want to do, So we got to, just monitor that stuff, what he watches and all that, That's how Moses' mind is. He going to think about every doggone thing, everything and all that, each detail, like why they do this, why they do that, but, got to, see the point of the movie, So one of the movie with me was basically for the women, to be, she was Superwoman. I ain't never seen a woman get hit that many times, slammed on the head with boulders and run the trees and all that, still maintain, she was fighting, What you think of a scenario of it and all that, a woman would do anything for her kid, so hey, that's true, Do what she got to do. But it was unrealistic. A lot of stuff was unrealistic.
What's some other unrealistic parts about it?
When the guy got ran over by a pickup truck.
And got back up.
He got back up and all that, Some more unrealistic stuff is that it's never gonna take the police that amount of time to come. They lived in the guarded community. You know what I'm saying? This movie was filmed in Florida, and they was in a guarded community, and it's just a lot of stuff that, you know what I'm saying, didn't add up, but it's just a movie, you know. Believe me, if you commit a crime in real life, hey, them police will be there. You know, they will be there to blink.
Especially when you have a security.
Yeah, they will be there real fast.
I remember many times, like, just accidents, hitting those buttons by accident.
Yeah.
And
at the home, ADT system.
Yeah, the ADT, they'll be there in 5 minutes. Less than 5 minutes.
They don't come and check or something like that. But, you know, that's the movie. It's movies, you know. It's entertainment. But, you know, it's a way you view it. You know what I'm saying? You use the entertainment. You know, a lot of people don't see it as entertainment. You know, like, it wasn't appropriate for a kid to be watching that movie. That's what I think, you know. But, you know, since he's on the show all the time and all that, you felt his reason to take him. So, you know, it wasn't appropriate. But they take things, you know, a certain way with the media, you know what I'm saying, all that, you know, these movies and all that, you know.
So, yeah, we're gonna have there's probably gonna be a whole lot of other children watching that show. So what would you say to parents who do end up having their child there with them watching the show? What would you encourage them to say to their children?
I would encourage the parent, it's not a movie for a kid to watch, you know. That's what I would say, you know. They gotta be, you know what I'm saying, at least 16 or older or something like that, you know.
And this is not the only image out there that makes black men look bad. There's plenty of them. This is just one example that I'm using. So if a parent catches their children seeing some negative images about them on TV, what is the response? What do they say to their children? How do they put the pieces back together? Because children watching something like that causes a breakage. And so how do they fix it? How do they put it back together?
Well, a parent, it's up to parents and all that. You got to be, if you let your kid watch that, you got to sit down there with them and all that. You got to sit there and have a conversation like what you're doing, what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? You know, the Whitmos, for example, and all that. You got to, you know, son, they don't like this in real life. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, the bad guy always gonna get caught, you know. Always.
Not always, because there's some movies where bad guys don't get caught.
Moses, that's movies, as I'm trying to tell you. There's no such thing as a perfect crime. There's no such thing as a perfect crime. Even you have gloves now, forensics and all that type of stuff, you know, technology and all that, it's real deep. You know, gloves, you know, such you're gonna leave some DNA, you're gonna leave some evidence. There's no such, that's all I'm putting in your head. You know what I'm saying? Don't do nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be in jail, you know, and all that type of stuff. So, but ain't no such thing as perfect. You're gonna, you know, eventually, you're not, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna get caught. So don't be thinking about they use chlorophyll or they use gloves and all that type of stuff. You know, it don't work like that.
All right, on that note, I'd like to go to a quick musical break. I'm going to call Poe, and we're going to have a conversation with him when you all come back.
You are now listening to One Drop Elopes on Intellectual Radio with Moses and Benita Allset.
Thank you for listening to One Drop Elopes on IntellectualRadio.com. Hosted by me, Benita Allset. One Drop Elopes is a constructive response to white supremacy, which is racism. We want to see everyone free. The chief sponsor for One Drop Elopes is Benita's Homemade Things, where you can get scrumptious cake and delicious cookies, as well as colorful hats, scarves, and gloves. One Drop Elopes airs on IntellectualRadio.com every Sunday at 12 noon Central. Call in at 708-223-8953. That's 708-223-8953. Now, back to our show.
BravoSkateBravo.com. Sometimes niggas be looking for a bullet when it's not the problem. It could be your baby mama that be trying to rob you. You be thinking you the king and you built the queen. Clouds turn into flames, these is burnt dreams. You gotta watch the things she do, subtle shit she say. Love is not a game that both of y'all can still play. You be trying to make a move, she be trying to stay. You be trying to stay, she wanna go the other way. Do she gossip on the phone about the shit you do? Do she understand the shit that you be going through? Do she believe in your dreams or do she laugh at you? Do she give you your space? Is she harassing you? Do she listen to your songs? Do she know the hooks? Do she repeat the shit you say? Do she read books? Do she got goals or do she want your soul? Sometimes it's love, sometimes it's power and control. 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 She say I love you and you smile and say the same thing. But just because you say it, that don't mean the same thing. You can be in different cars in the same lane, do different styles, trying to play the same game. Do she understand why you fell in love with her? Do her friends be trying to hang out in the club with her? I want a woman I can feel like I'm on drugs with her. Start a family, spread the seed, mix the blood with her. Never settle for less, nigga pack a vest. I don't stress, I'm not easily impressed. You can have a lot of sex, but what's next? Nigga, memorize the lit, this is Hood X. You ain't young forever, nigga, you better ball. You can have a lot of money and lose it all. You be looking for the thief, but it wasn't stole. Sometimes it's love, sometimes it's power and control.
Welcome back. This is Benita Osset here on Drop Elopes on IntellectualRadio.com. That's my brother K Blau. He's singing that song Power and Control. Well, that's a rap, I guess I should say. But anyway, one of the reasons why I played that song again today is because I want you all to start to learn how to look at things from a different perspective. And that song offers a different perspective of domestic violence, how it can go from a different way. But I also think that it's offering a whole other perspective, like not just a perspective of domestic violence, but a perspective of listening, looking, watching, being careful. So now, Drop Elopes family, we have got, again, you can catch that song on SoundCloud. Drop Elopes family, Drop Elopes family. We got Pomo on the line with us. Hey, Po, say hello to the family.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, bro.
How y'all doing out there?
Yeah, we doing good. We got Moses and Moses' father in the room too, but we want to see it from your.
What's up, man? What's up?
Okay. I've been listening to you, Benita, and it's been a minute. You know what I'm saying? But steer me in a direction. Give me talk to me.
Okay, so the question that we have on the table is how media images at times emasculate Black people. And what I'm looking for you to help us with during this very last segment is like the offset pieces. How are we going to put it back together? Like, what do we need to do?
Let me start from what your name means. I gave you that name because Asa had to figure out how to put the pieces of the Black Asa back together, meaning he was destroyed. His brother was Set. Set is the evil or negative aspect of man. He tricked Asa. Asa had love, but he tricked him. Killed him, wrapped him up, put him in a casket, cut the body in 14 pieces and scattered it everywhere, meaning dismembered the Black man. So Asa was the queen that had to come through and figure out how to remember the Black man. And then remembering the Black man meaning is to actually remember who he really was. So when you remember, you're putting the pieces back together, because if he dismembered, we're going to remember him. So now that she remember him, it brings her forth her essences. Instead of tearing them down, she put them back together. So that's basically what you're doing, as I feel. Some type of way you're trying to remember the Black man. Under our set, you're trying to put 13 pieces back together. But they only tell us it's 12 pieces. And when you represent, like, well, what's 12 pieces? they got Jesus and his 12 disciples. So if you do that, that's 13. They got the 12 zodiacs. But then if it's Jesus and 12 disciples, that means 13. Where's the 13th zodiac? Because each zodiac represents one of Jesus' disciples. So now you got a Prius for the 13th zodiac that they slid right up under us. And that is Jesus. That represents the sum total of all zodiacs master. So now, that's like, okay, now we go back. You was telling me about your son. Let's go to John Gotti. John Gotti was a mob figure. And once he became more into himself, more lost into his ego, more publicized, he started to look like a hero to the young Italians. And what the young Italians said, I want to be like him. He's invincible. He's unstoppable. He does what he wants because he's looking at his father go through bullshit with his wife. So he said, do my father look happy? He's not a criminal. He go to work every day. He do what the Matrix tell him to do. But do he look happy? No, he look miserable. And the son said, I don't want to be like that. So he don't know no other images. And then you see John Gotti. So versus his father got to argue and appease his wife just to get along. John Gotti ain't got to do none of that. He got the females bowing down to him only because he won't bow down to them. You see what I'm saying? So it looks more powerful as a male for the Italian. So let's go to the black man. He look at his father, the same situation. So he say, okay, my father go to work every day. He got a job. He's really not happy. He's always wanting things, but he's a good man. And sometimes in the cases I see where my mom treat him. And then he look at the dude across the street who sell drugs. This man got everything that my father's striving for, but it's illegal. It's quote unquote illegal. You know what I'm saying? So now that's when the translation get lost. And he asks his dad. He said, Dad, he said, you told us we go to church every day. We should prosper in prosperity. But this man over here don't go to church at all. But he got everything that we're going to church to strive for. So the question becomes unanswered. So that movie you're talking about, I haven't seen the movie, but from a nutshell of what you told me, is first we got to remember it's a war going on right now. We're going back into women's rights. That's why you got Bill Cosby, what's the other guy, Morgan Freeman, and all these. They bringing these things up because it's the male against the female thing going. So that movie is really brainwashing. It's really set to bring that further division within the family. And by doing that, we did it on a broad perspective. Bill Cosby, that's for everybody. But for the black community, we're going to actually make a movie about this. So when the female go watch that movie, the subconscious feeling when she get home is what you think is going to be, love a man or hate a man.
Right, exactly.
So that's just feeding into the war. The real thing of the movie is to feed into the war, the black woman and black man separation. That's basically the meaning of the movie. But they're gonna hit home now. They're gonna start taking pieces of your actual life, and the way they know how you actually live is through Facebook and little comments and stuff you make, and they're gonna start taking that and iterate it into that movie, so where it's gonna hit home. So about another 2 years from now, a lot of relationships gonna separate, all because of that movie. Now, you told me something about the male. You say he was a Samson. A Samson is the one who gave up his throne, who said, okay, I'm going to start seeing the world through her eyes instead of the way I used to see the world through my eyes. And therefore, he takes on a habit because he got to try to escape, which is Samson drink. He drink a lot. He got to stay drunk just to deal with the off balance of the equilibrium. Instead of dealing with Eve, he's dealing with Lilith. And what Lilith said is, oh, no, I ain't finna bow down to this. I'm going to be just as equal as the man. You talking about God, you talking about, no, you brought from his rib and I need to obey him. No. So God got rid of her and brought Eve. And then she was a little bit more willing to listen. But Lilith never went nowhere. And that's who resurfaced into the earth. So you're basically looking at, go ahead. So what was the man role and the woman role?
Okay, so in this, let me say this, Poe. So in this particular movie, the father represents somebody who is doing according to the Matrix what is asked of him. He has a job. He's real clean cut. He's they don't show him drinking or anything like that. They show him as a compassionate person, like he cares about his wife. Dante had pointed out that he took the time to say to her, look, you know, your father was a criminal. And so if he's saying that to her, then he should have been smarter. See, the things that Dante pointed out was that the father, even though he's got all of this wisdom enough to get a job, you know, he's real clean cut. He doesn't have any hair on his face, or like maybe a mustache or something, but he's not smart enough to avoid getting hurt when he gets out there. So for what Dante's saying is that this whole entire movie does not make sense. You know, there's certain steps that a natural black man would take. Like, for instance, a black man would naturally, if he's saying to his wife, look, you know,
hold on. Now,
go ahead.
Cut you off, but let me say this before I forget. Okay, so basically what you're telling me is the actual reality of the black man dealing in this on-call relationship with the black woman, but he's devoid of knowledge. They're showing you that's what it looks when you don't have God. We don't really understand knowledge. Because if God told Adam to listen to me, and then she'll listen to you. Then Adam said, so damn, that must mean I'm not listening to you. That's why she ain't listening to me. So basically what I'm saying is I see this a lot in society where a brother don't actually have the words to say to the female, therefore it's the stuff just run rampant. Because actually he don't have the knowledge. Like, true enough, he got this possessions, but mentally he don't have the words to break the curse or to get her to understand what he's saying. It's what I'm hearing from him. But I see that. Like, if you just knew to say this, or if you just knew to say that, or if you just knew to point this out, you know what I'm saying? But they don't. So it goes to what the brother was saying. It don't make sense, but it's basically they're showing you brothers without knowledge. That's what I'm getting. So a lot of people say, what you need knowledge for? What you need all that for? And this is an example of what you need it for. It's not just to have it, it's to be able to utilize it and understand what's going on around you. We're only dealing in the 3D matrix, meaning is the stage. This, what we look at is the stage. And a lot of people are locked into the 3D matrix, meaning the stage. Before we reincarnated, we was gods. And we said, I'm going to take incarnation on this earth to experience human. But in the experience human, I'm going to still know that what I am is that what I am. But we get lost into the body and forget about that part that we choose to come down here for the experience and think this is real. And that's what's going on a lot of times. The brother is getting locked into this 3D reality when he's a fourth dimensional, fifth dimensional, sixth dimensional being.
So what's the answer to that, Poe? Like, how does a brother?
Well, you got to tell me what the female represents in the movie. Give me her story.
Her story is she's like a superhero. Like Dante says, she'll be knocked down 15 different times, but he said he's never seen a movie where the female gets knocked down that many times and keeps bouncing back up. And
I've never seen that.
And the reason why she's bouncing back up so many different times is because each and every time she keeps fighting because her children are locked in the house and she needs to get her children out that house. They're locked in the house with the criminals and she's outside by herself doing everything she can to get them out of there.
Ooh, okay. So where's the father? Who's at fault? Who's supposed to be at fault for all this?
The criminals. She went up to the house to try. It's like kind of like they were going to try and prepare the house to sell it.
So you telling me the father? They sure that the father is like he don't have no power, and she's the only one that's out fighting to get the children out the house.
Yes,
he's not.
Yes.
Oh hell no. They're playing all day. So hell no. That's called emasculation of the black man. She ain't gonna stroke his ego at all. Even if he do go out there and fight, just off us seeing that movie, she's still gonna see it like he's out there. That's what they're doing to us. That's hell no. How that look? Why couldn't it have been him doing it?
See, the other thing too, though, Poe, is the way they set it up is at the very, very beginning of the movie, the husband calls the wife. And the husband is like, hey, I wish I was there. Things at work are a little bit harder than what there's more work that I have to do. I can't get there. Now, I don't know if he was just saying that to spin her because he ends up showing up later on. So when you first see in the movie, you think that husband is not ever going to show up. And then her phone breaks or something like that. So she never once tries to call the husband. She just takes off trying to fight to get the children out.
Okay, so what you're watching is Smith, what we call Smith. Have you ever seen The Matrix? Smith was the one that jumped in at anybody's body to chase Neo. And then Us as black people don't ever understand that there's an outside force working towards our separation, then you will never see that this coming. The fact that he was trying to get there, he couldn't get there. Just so happened the tire caught flat. It was something that happened just at that particular time for him to have to tell her that I can't make it. And then due to the communication issue, to make sure the stuff ain't 100, her phone breaks, so she want to be able to call him back. This ain't just so happen. This just ain't like, oh, yeah. This happens to us daily. But if we can't recognize an outside entity and we think it's a joke, it's always going to become real in our reality. That's the biggest problem. That's the answer. Recognize between man and woman that it's an outside entity working towards y'all separation. Once you see that, you're going to see the synchronicity and bullshit. He'd be able to come home and say, baby, you don't know, I was on my way, just so happened this happened. Just so happened it's a traffic jam. Just so happened this happened. But I'm still on my way. She's like, baby, you don't know I was going to call you back, but just so happened my phone broke. But it don't never come to that. It come to that, why the hell you want to hear? And he's like, why the hell you didn't call me? That's what it come to, and therefore it goes nowhere. So then he had the entity go back and hide through the argument, because that's where it started. But in the end, it's about something totally different. Like, you act like you don't love me. How we go from this to that?
So what I'm hearing you say is that black couples need to always understand that there's outside forces out there. There's things that just always happen.
That there is outside forces working towards our inner separation. Yes, because we are spiritual beings. On the matrix, in the surface, it looked like Section 8. It looked like income tax at the end of the year. It looked like that. You know, it plays out on the surface, as you can see the white man playing that he want to make us separated. You know what I'm saying? But we can't have all these babies out here homeless, so we got to set up a plan while we destroy the black man, so it won't look crazy. So if the black man supposed to take care of his family and we destroy him, then you won't have a whole bunch of homeless women and homeless black babies. But what we do is set up a net. What's the net? Just give them Section 8. So we give them Section 8. That's the disguise. So it do look like they have a house. So it don't look like it's a problem, because the women got a place to stay. Where's the man? You just see him walking around drunk, looking crazy. He destroyed. But on the surface, it don't look like there's a problem. So then, okay, they ain't got no money. How we got to keep this going? Well, then you give them $1,000, $5,000. Keep them comfortable. Keep them cool. Because all we need them to do is keep breathing. And if the child is the object of Section 8 is that a man can't be in the house. So Section 8 is to help the families. Why is it designed to separate the families? Like if you in the crib, you know what I'm saying, and you get caught in my crib, I'm going to lose it. So he can't really be there. And in the access of the children growing up, who going to have the most power? The mother, because that's her crib. So if she feel like it, she can put the man out. So there you go, another aspect of immaculation.
Oh, let me let.
So that's on the surface. I'm just giving you the surface.
Right. I appreciate that. I want
Doctor. I'm gonna give you the spiritual. Where we from? No, I'm gonna give you the spiritual. Where we really from?
Okay.
It's called sex. It's what they call the devil. It's what they call the jinn. It's what we call shadow walkers. We are 6 sense beings trapped in the 5 sense reality. The white man is 5 sense: touch, taste, smell, and all that. We got all that, but we got the 6th sense. And the reason we was given the 6th sense because we're from a 6th sense universe. And by being from a 6th sense universe, just because we don't express it, that 6th sense ain't going nowhere. And it comes out over time as insanity because we're not using it. So if we don't understand that, all you got to do is try it with your wife, try it with your husband. Next time we're going to act like there's an outside entity, like Poe said, working towards our separation. And then when the shit kick off, actually ask each other what happened. And you're going to see it. Now what you're going to do, you're going to go back to not understanding this. Just try it. It's about imagination. Like you like, oh, that ain't real. Well, what's really real? That ain't real, but it's happening right before your face. They showing you in the movie. That ain't real. That's real. That's very real. But then the subtle things we don't see. You know what I'm saying? We don't see why. He couldn't make it. Why? Why just so happened she happened to drop her phone and she couldn't call him back. So we don't see that. Who's going to teach you about this? So I'm saying, we're in a 5 cent reality. Who's going to teach you about the 6th sense? When the chief of everything we know is a 5 cent being, man. Who's going to teach you? Nobody. But you still got this reality in you. They even got Africa broke down. They just like us over there. So they do stuff like wear the white wigs and try to be like the judges. You know, they even more roster. That was what was Black Panther was about.
Pomo, let me hold on, Doctor. Do you have any questions or comments on what he's saying?
Well, what he's saying. All I'm saying is the movie was basically about this. They switched the whole role. The female was a man and a man was a female. You know, they switched the whole role. Other whole movie, you know, he was doing the womanly stuff, like call her like, you're okay.
No.
Well, your dad is he's a crook, he's a criminal, and all that type of stuff. You know, she was being like, trying to brush everything out. Yeah, I know this and I know that, you know, but it's basically, you know, when he got his big part in the movie, at the ending, and, you know, he's more like the female, you know, so
he totally you're so right about that, Dante. He totally responded like a female the whole time. They had him carrying his bag the way women carry purses. Mm-hmm. They had him ignoring red flags the way maybe a woman might ignore it. I mean, even women growing up in Chicago wouldn't have ignored those red flags, but he ignored them. He ran to the house, and then he was saying things like, leave my family alone, don't mess with my family, while they was hitting him. And he wasn't really fighting back.
They wouldn't know why one person hit him.
Yeah, one person hits him.
So the Jew is sitting there talking to his son, and the Jew's father say, son, I like what you did. He said, what's that, father? He said, I noticed you listened to me. He said, oh, you like that movie I made? He said, yeah, whatever this movie we're talking about. He said, oh yeah, I was just showing them how. And he said, the father said, it's funny. He laughed. They can't even see that. He said, oh, we can show them movies of what we do to them now. Like, this is how y'all look to us. They're showing us how the black man look to the rest of the world. That's how we look.
Poe, Moses said last night when Moses saw the movie, one of the first things he said when we were leaving the theater, he said, the roles have switched. The gender roles has changed. He said that I didn't put that in his head. My son saw that. And then he said that on the show earlier today. That's one of the first things that Moses said was, it's about gender roles being switched.
It's already switched. And they just showing us what they did.
And Poe, her name in the movie is Shaun, spelled S-H-A-U-N.
Oh, they play too much. They got jokes.
They gave her a masculine name.
Well, it takes for you to point stuff like that, stuff like this out, so it won't be feeding into the subconscious. Because what they're doing, like your shorty, this ain't where they're gonna stop. So they're gonna go on. By that time, he's gonna actually think this is what he's supposed to be doing. Did you think we was gonna have to wear skinny jeans back in the day, brothers? Did y'all think we was gonna come to wearing tight ass pants? No, but over time, look what they do. They iterated little by little. That's how Hitler was able to do the Jews. They did it bogus at first. They just threw it out there, and people like, whoa, what the hell going on? They said, okay, what we're gonna do is through media radio, we're gonna iterate it little by little by little, and look what power doing that do. You can have another person kill a whole race, and that's what they're doing to us now as a black man. They iterate a little with the cop killings and all this little stuff and stuff like that, and making it know. So next you know, we're gonna have the National Guards coming and taking everything, and the rest of the Chinese, Arabs, Jews, everybody looking and laughing. You'll see.
Man,
but right now, they're iterating that little by little. But at the point we at now, we already there. It's like we're there.
I can never see you in skinny jeans, Dante.
I didn't know the movie was that ruthless. I didn't know that they actually had her running around like they showing you. Like I said, a Jewish son is telling the father, because they're the one who make these movies or permit these movies to be made. But they set the craft, they set the design, they set the way they want it.
I never
feel like, huh?
And then at the very end, my daughter. First, I watched it with my daughter, and then that's when I decided I wanted to, And I kept complaining about the movie, and then I was complaining about it with one of my friends, and he was like, "Benita, you got to break this down for the people. You got to explain this." And so then I asked Dante to see it without even explaining it to him, and then the first thing he said to me is, "I'm not impressed. Why you want me to see this stupid stuff?" He said, "The black man's a punk." And I was like, exactly. That's what we have to do. We have to go and talk about it.
You have to make them aware. What you're doing is making people aware of what they're doing. If not, it's going to slip right under our noses.
This is what I wanted to say, Poe. My daughter, my 23-year-old daughter of both me and Dante, our daughter. So she said when she saw it at the very end, she had 3 children, not 2, because she has 2 children in the movie. But my daughter looks at it and says the husband was a child to her. She treated him like a child. Like at the very end, she goes and she puts her arm around all 3 of them, and then the husband rests his head on her chest. That's the very last image you see is her, this super powerful woman treating all these people like children, including her husband.
That's what's going on now. That's what's going on now. I see a lot of men say when they bounce, they say, I refuse to change. I'm just going to be me. You got to ask yourself, what are they talking about? What do they feel they're going to be changed into?
Well, look, Poe, real quick, I just want to tell the people if you are interested in participating in this, putting the pieces back together, if you want to help us with this, then you can join the Godspeed Nation group on Facebook. Listen to One Drop Elopes. We're always going to keep trying to put the pieces back together. I want to say thank you, Poe, for sure. Being on the show with us. Thanks, Moses. Thank you so much, Dante, for being our special guest. And we really appreciate your insight on that, Dante. And we should
boycott that movie. We need to do that's bogus.
We should
boycott that movie. I want to see it.
The black men, one thing I've learned about you all and being friends with you and being in relationships, like especially with Dante has taught me so much about how to see things, how you look at things. Being a man, you just see things in a way where you want to protect. You want to be careful about things. And that movie says black men don't do that anymore, period. That man not one time had a forethought, or it just didn't. And so I'm really concerned.
I'm going to cut you off. I like to say a little like stuff that comes to me before I don't. But we have no avatar like the brothers you just spoke of, and me. There's no one in the world that even know we type of brothers exist. And why is that? Like, where's our avatar? Or in the movies, what represents us? See, so it's like we always in the shadows. And a lot of times when we talk to women, especially, or some brothers, they're of the matrix. So when you tell them like how we talk to each other, if you can't compute us in the TV that they show you, then you kind of get confused about us. See, so it's harder for you to understand. You know what I'm saying? So our best way would be a preacher and then try to sneak what we know through preaching because you can say, okay, you're a preacher. But if we talk like a preacher, but we're not, it's like, well, what are you? Now let's go to the TV. You don't got you where? You don't have no image.
The black man.
The closest we came now was that dude named Killmonger. That's the closest we get.
Or T'Challa.
Well, no, he's an African that come over here and act like we punk.
Oh,
if you really look at it, they made the good guy, us, look like the bad guy again. Mm-hmm. Killmonger was a product of what America did to us. And we asked him, why y'all didn't help us? Why y'all didn't come up? When y'all come up here, why y'all look down on us? What was going on? We just like you. I'm from your bloodline. But you play us like you didn't give us to these people. And act like we bogus. You know what I'm saying? So that's Killmonger. He like, Joe, we've been through 400 years of slavery. Of course, my DNA and mental state going to be altered. But how did we get here?
Well, look, brother Poe, I'm sorry, we got to wrap it up. But this is what I want to say. You're making a very good point. What we need to do is until we have those avatars or those images of us, then we need to keep having conversations about those lies that they keep telling about us. That's what we've decided today. That's the if you don't learn anything else from this show today, is the images of black folk that are in the media, especially black men, and especially in this movie, are untrue and unrealistic. That is not us. That is not our people. I've never seen a man look like that. All right, my brother, thanks for calling in. We got to go. Thanks, Earl, so much. Thanks, everybody. Bro, I'll holler at you in a minute, okay? Thank you so much.
The end.
That's our outro. Thanks, everybody downloading. Thanks for people listening. Thanks for people sharing. All right, now. Thanks, Auntie.
Priscilla.
You
just finished listening to One Drop Elopes on Intellectual Radio, hosted by my daughter, Benita Assad. Benita Assad is on Instagram, more Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Email your thoughts, questions, concerns, or opinions to BenitaAssad@gmail.com. Benita will be happy to respond. Join Benita every Sunday at 12 noon on IntellectualRadio.com.